Good morning. All right. So we're going to sing a congregational opening song. That's right. It's so befitting because the song starts with, I woke up this morning. And I'm like, have I quite awakened yet with my coffee? So joining me this morning is Miss Arietta Ward, y'all. Yeah.
Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
I'm walking and talking with my mind, oh yeah. Stayed on freedom. Walking and talking with my mind. Stayed on freedom. I'm walking and talking with my mind. Stayed on freedom. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah. Ain't no harm to keep your mind. No, it ain't now. Stayed on freedom. It ain't no harm to keep your mind. Stayed on freedom. Ain't no harm to keep your mind. Stayed on freedom. Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah. Come on, Mark. Yeah. Yes, Mark Steele. Yeah.
I woke up this morning with my mind stayed on freedom. I woke up this morning with my mind
Stayed on freedom.
I woke up this morning with my mind
Stayed on freedom.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah.
hallelujah,
Hallelujah. 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 Come on, y'all. Hallelujah. Good morning.
Wow, wow, wow. Welcome. We welcome you this morning to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland as we gather with our mind set on freedom. If you haven't opened to a larger path, a widening circle, I just invite you to do that now. I'm Reverend Lisa Day. I'm part of this Unity Spiritual Center of Portland as we open to a larger understanding. You know, Richard Rohr said, people who sincerely search will touch upon the same truth in every age and culture. The direction is always toward more love and union in ever-widening circles. And that's what we're here to open to, a larger understanding, a larger knowing in ever-widening circles. And so in just a moment, I'm going to invite you to join with me as we begin this service in prayer, opening. And if you have been outside of your heart space at any time this past week, any of us, that stuff has been calling us away from our center, I just invite you to open. There is an eternal message of wholeness, of oneness, of love that moves through each of us, each and every being, everywhere. And we just simply open to it. Let's begin this service in prayer. And we say, Mother, Father, God, Infinite Spirit, we open. We open to a greater knowing, to a realization that the infinite intelligence of this universe moves in, through, and as us now, we honor every being on our paths, those fathers who continue to teach us, all of the beings around us. We know that as we gather together, saying yes to an ever-widening circle, we learn, we grow, we heal, and we remember the journey of love. For this opportunity to gather in this knowing, to remind ourselves that the truth of who we are is wholeness, is love, and is life. And then to encircle our globe, every being everywhere. We honor your journey. You are enough, you are worthy, you have great value. And together, we are walking each other home. For this opportunity to gather, we say, thank you, Infinite Spirit. And so it is. Amen. And I just want to say happy Father's Day to all of the dads and stepdads and grandfathers, all of those who have been a mentor, who have been that dad figure. We are so blessed, and you'll hear a little more of that at the end of the service when our kids come in. And I want to say happy Juneteenth. We are celebrating Juneteenth today, and that is, doing this service right now brings tears to my eyes, but I want to talk about it a little bit as we continue to learn, because today is about education. Those ever-widening circles, I don't know about you, but I used to hope they happened by themselves without me actually paying attention, getting clear, and widening those circles also. So that's what we're doing today. You know, Black families and communities, and this comes from Black Lives Matter, you know, it says, how do you turn up during this Juneteenth correctly? Nationwide, Black families and communities come together to celebrate and remember Juneteenth, just as we have every year since 1865. Juneteenth celebrates June 19th, 1865, the day when the Union Army issued an order proclaiming the emancipation of the enslaved people in Galveston, Texas. Now that was, yes, just remember that was 2.5 years after the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed. People just didn't decide to share that news. And so that is an interesting journey that we're still learning how to walk a different path and how to be a part of the healing of paths in all. Anybody notice? What are we doing today? We're being called to evolve in a way that heals and understands our interconnectedness and that knows who we are. So this idea, you know, on June 19th of 2021, when the United States as a nation celebrated and acknowledged the emancipation of enslaved peoples alongside of all of those who had been celebrating it for the first time in history, it was made a federal holiday. But how do we celebrate it now, where it doesn't become just a one-day celebration, where a lot of companies make a lot of money on selling Juneteenth supplies, and that we don't actually find a deeper message and an understanding of what a larger path is? Because for me, anyway, and I believe as we gather together in this spiritual message, we know that we're all moving toward love. Everything is either love or a call for love. And this is a call for opening our hearts to find something more. So just remember that doing this celebration here, it's also important to learn about reparations, to learn about what we can do individually, what we can do collectively, and what we can do globally to create a healing path that allows us to find the picture that reminds us we're all one. We're all interconnected. And so I just wanted to open with that so that we can remember that the joy of this day expands further. And Beth is going to come up and share with you all kinds of information.
Good morning. It's great to be with you all this morning. I first want to introduce to you our prayer chaplains for the day. If you would stand. Our prayer chaplains are available to pray with you following the service if you would like to do so in person. If you're not ready to share in person yet, there's prayer requests in the backs of your chairs and out in the lobby. We ask you to fill those out and drop them in the prayer box that has been so kindly brought in this morning. Thank you. And they will hold those prayers for you for 30 days. They will call you if you desire. And if you need a lift during the week, you can call the Dial a Prayer. We have little cards with that number on the lobby table. You can pick those up. It's a great midweek lift. In addition to all of this wonderful things that they do for us during the week on Sunday mornings, besides praying with you, they hold a guided meditation at 10:30 a.m. every Sunday. As of this week, it has been moved into the chapel. And that's because we cannot squash the joy that happens coming through the front door in the morning. It's a little noisy. So we've moved them to a quieter, more intimate space where they can be quiet and enjoy a lovely meditation. You all are invited to join them 10:30 Sunday mornings in the chapel. I want to give a shout out to all of our garden party creators and participants this past Friday. We had a very successful, fun night out in our beautiful garden. I first want to thank Bill Imig and his garden team for making the place as beautiful as it is all the time. Thank you, garden team. And if we could have you all stand, and Colleen, who headed up the garden party, and all the people who participated with food set up, if you all would please stand. Yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What a beautiful, beautiful night. And we're going to have another one in August. We're already planning it. Look forward to that. August 25th, save the date. So I do want to mention, following the service today, we have a few things happening. The women's group will be meeting downstairs in one of the teen rooms. We also have our 20s and 30s something group. They will be meeting in the other teen room this morning. So we've got all the rooms covered. And our leaders meeting is happening today, and that'll be around 12:45 upstairs in the chapel. So leaders, you know who you are. If you think you might be a leader but you're not sure, come on, we'll find a spot for you. I always say that. Next Sunday, our LGBTQ plus group will be meeting following the service, and they are going to be meeting with our Pride booth volunteers. We're getting ready for our Pride booth. That's going to happen July 15 and 16. I had to look at Drew to get the day right. Do you have your clipboards today? All right, we have sign-ups. Come and see Drew. If you can do a shift, we're working on trying to get you there and back, and she's got some slots open, so make sure you see her following the service if you'd like to participate in that. At this time, I'd like to welcome anyone who's with us for the first time this morning. If this is your first time here at Unity Spiritual Center of Portland, we'd love to welcome you. If you'd raise your hand, our ushers are coming forward with our welcome packet, which I don't see up here. My prop, I don't have my prop. So there's a card on the back. You'll just have to visualize this in your mind, people. There's a card on the back. It's neon green. There's a QR code on it. You can snap that QR code if you're joining us virtually. The QR code is on your screen. You can take a snap of that. That will get you on our mailing list to where you can get our weekly newsletter that will be emailed to you. So we welcome you. There's a red rose on the outside of that envelope. We'd love for you to stick that to your clothing so we know who you are and can give you a nice warm welcome following today's service. And most importantly, we invite you downstairs for Connection Hour following the service. And today's Connection Hour is sponsored by our wonderful men's group. I call them the Mighty Men of Unity. They have created a wonderful, wonderful coffee and connection for you downstairs. So yes, we look forward to seeing you all after the service down there. Thank you so much.
All right. And we do want to welcome all of you here to Unity Spiritual Center of Portland, where we honor every path. We know all of us are on this sacred journey. Some of us have fought for a long time saying, no, I'm really not. But the truth is we find in our hearts, oh, yes, I am. And that as we gather together, we find an anchoring and a remembering. I believe it's a cellular remembering. So if this community works for you, we would just simply encourage you to become a part. It's important for us to gather right now to look at what's happening outside of us and to say, you know, there's a larger world, there's a larger understanding, and I can be a part of it. If this community does not work for you, I encourage you to continue seeking to find a place that does remind you of the truth of who you are and that allows you to remember that wholeness and that life and that love and that presence. All right, and we are going to stand and sing.
So this is a traditional gospel song, but I like to kind of take it a little bit further. Instead of this little light, this love light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Are you willing? Are you willing? All right, well, let's sing together in joy. Yay. Oh, you gonna join me? All right. All right, here we go. Well, this love light of mine, put your hands together. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this love light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This love light of mine, put you to work. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Everywhere I go,
There it is.
I'm gonna let it shine. Oh,
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, all around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You know this one?
shine, shine, shine.
I'm gonna let it shine, 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 shine. I'm gonna let it shine, oh, shine, 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 shine. I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, sing it like we know it. We got it. This love light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This love light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This love light of mine, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Now, big finish, one more, big finish. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yes, that's right. Thank you.
Oh, yes, let it shine. And we just invite you to turn to those around you simply with a namaste or welcome. I'm so glad to know you, to see you. We are, as we gather this morning, anybody notice how wonderful it is to be together?
Yes.
To breathe? I was just thinking of all the times I spent in this room with no one in this space other than LaRonda and a sound person, and how wonderful, and a live stream, and what a gift it is right now to recognize when we come together something larger happens. And if you have not in the past, I know you're going to get introduced, but LaRonda Steele and Mark Steele are here with us this morning, and yes. Some of Oregon's gifts to humanity. And the Portland Interfaith Gospel Choir. We're so happy all of you are here. This service will be a little different. Karen Trusty sharing some of her wisdom, and Dr. Roberta Hunte will be with us also. And we're just going to do, what we're going to do is just a short meditation. But as we're just getting quiet for a moment, and you'll hear music, and then we'll do meditation. You may say, what is that for? Why do I do that? And we do a tiny bit here. But remembering that the evolutionary impulse of the universe that moves through us is asking us, inviting us to remember we are whole, complete, and infinite. And that idea of I am enough is one that we get to not just hear, but take within. And so as you listen to this music, I just invite you to open your heart to a cellular remembering of the truth of who you are and every other being on this planet.
I embrace the new. I accept a new way of thinking. Oh, I embrace the new. I accept a new way of thinking. I allow, I embrace, and I say yes, yes, yes. I say yes, yes, yes. I say yes. I say yes. Ooh, I embrace the new, and I accept a new way of thinking. I accept the new. I embrace a new way of thinking. I accept. I allow. I embrace. And oh, I say yes, yes, yes. I say yes, yes, yes. I say yes. I say yes.
And gently, ever so gently, as we close our eyes and relax into the yes, an invitation for Spirit to move through us. I relax my body. I let go of outer thoughts, continuing the inner journey. It's a journey of yes, a journey of remembering I am whole. I am worthy. I am enough. I am filled with the infinite presence of God. I breathe that in. I feel it move throughout my being. And I relax into the yes, 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 in the silence, in the silence. And from this place of silence comes a movement, comes a remembering, comes the invitation to take every step this day with a knowing that infinite love guides my way. I heal. I am whole. I live as that light this day. And in that knowing, I simply say yes, yes, yes. And so it is. Amen.
Place of knowing and remembering who you are. We breathe, we breathe, we breathe, we breathe. I am light. I am light. Oh, I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the dreams I left behind. I am light. I am light. Will you help me sing this part? Let's sing it together. I am light. I am light. Oh, I am light. I am light. Now let me tell you, I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. Will you help me sing it? Remember with me. I am light. I am light. Oh, yes. I am light. I am light. Now listen. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. It's all light. Sing it, y'all. I am light. I am light. Oh, yes. I am light. I am light. You know who we are? We are divinity. Inside we are God. On the inside we are a star, a piece of it all. We are light. We are light. We are light. Let's sing it together. Let's sing it together just a few more times. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Oh, know it, y'all. I am light. I am light. One more time. I am light. I am light. Yes, that's the truth.
Hello. The title of this talk is Honoring Black Women's Health. And it came together because I happened to watch the 1619 Project on Hulu. And episode 2 is about Black women's health and its connection, how Black women are treated today, to slavery. Most of this talk is actually quotes from this Hulu episode. The second episode concerns Black women's maternal health issues. As she said, Nicole said, this is very hard to talk about, and it is sickening. I am talking about it because when I saw this episode, as a white woman who has worked on race issues, as many of you know, for most of my life, I was shocked. I did not know or understand the sometimes terrible outcomes for Black women for having children in America. In fact, America is the worst place in the industrial world for Black women to have babies. I mean, America invented race because it needed a way to keep slaves enslaved and reap huge profits for the white class of enslavers. In America, race was invented to perpetuate the system of slavery and to sustain white supremacy. The laws that built the system of slavery were built on controlling the sexual and reproductive lives of black women. In 1662, that's a long time ago, the Virginia Assembly passed a law that said Negro women's children would have the status of their mother. In other words, the children would always be born as slaves. Now this was so the white enslavers could father as many children as they wanted with these black women, and none of them would have to have any of the rights to their property. They didn't have to be fathers. They just had to father them. Enslavers claimed that they were justified by God and slavery was the natural order of the universe. In fact, according to them and their ministers, the more slaves they owned, the more divine and closer to God they were. It's kind of sickening. Using this so-called pseudoscience, you know, the one where they measure their heads and do all that stuff, whites declared that black people were inferior and physically very different from white people. To the enslavers, this justified their brutal and torturous behavior. This one I didn't know either. A white doctor named Dr. Sims invented gynecology. He's considered the father of gynecology. Women, the father of gynecology. He did this by doing surgical procedures on enslaved black women with no anesthesia, even though it existed at that time, based on his belief that black people did not feel pain like white people did. And I see many of you go, oh man, you know, this is, and it is. It really. All these centuries later, the false belief about black women's pain and their humanity still impact the reproductive health care they receive, and the consequences for black women and their children are all often deadly. The fetal mortality rate for black women is more than twice that of white women because the black women don't receive the same standard of care as white women. Black women die in childbirth nearly 3 times the rate of white women. And this is the highest, again, in the industrial world. Even if black babies survive being born, they're twice as likely to die before their first birthday compared to white babies. These outcomes are not tied to socioeconomic status. I know when I heard that, I thought, oh, that's because they don't have health care, they're poor, they don't have, you know, all that stuff. The statistics show it doesn't matter if you're black and wealthy or poor. Black women still have these terrible outcomes. In other words, it is not a class issue, it is a race issue. I'm going to talk about Serena Williams now. She had just a second, I'm a little bit out of sync here. Okay, here it is. There was a Netflix documentary, 6 series episodes on Serena Williams. Does everybody know who she is? She's like the athlete to me. I love tennis. I love watching tennis. And watching her whole trajectory of how much racism she faced and people calling her lazy because she didn't go to every tennis match in the world. She saved herself for the Grand Slams. And she won almost the most Grand Slams of any woman in the history of tennis. And she's been a hero of mine. I loved it when she would take her racket and go, oh! And I would just see this power radiating from her that you often don't see women express in in America. You know, we're sort of more nice. And, well, I'm not, but most people, most women are. Uh-oh. That's what happens when I move. Okay. So in 2010, Serena Williams, there she is with her healthy baby and her, prize, was diagnosed with blood clots in her lungs, and doctors discovered hematoma in her abdomen. Her condition was treatable. After giving birth in 2017, and they showed this in the Netflix series, she suddenly began to lose feeling in her legs and her pain increased. Although the hospital staff did not seem overly concerned, she insisted on getting tests. She was yelling at them to give her tests because she knew what was happening. She'd already have it happen, so she knew what was happening. Get me those tests, she said. And she insisted to see if blood clots had formed while she was off her regular medication during pregnancy. You take blood thinners, but then when you're pregnant, you can't do that. They were trying to talk to me. This is a quote from her. They were trying to talk to me, and all I could think of was, I'm dying, oh my God. When her doctor finally agreed, the test revealed that immediate surgery was necessary to keep the clots from reaching her lungs. Being heard and appropriately treated was the difference between life and death for me, she writes. Now, this is the biggest problem, is that people don't listen and take it seriously. They let their unconscious bias get in the way, so they don't hear. And this is, I know that I've seen this happen to my friends who are black people, that they're just not heard. Anyway, just last week, a famous black woman, a U.S. Olympic gold medalist, Tori Bowie, died at the age of 32. She was a world champion sprinter and a 3-time Olympic medalist, and according to the autopsy, died of complications of childbirth. Allison Felix, who was her teammate and the most decorated U.S. track and field athlete of all time, also ran with Tori at the 2016 Olympics in the relay race, that Tori was the anchor. And the anchor is the most, they're the ones, Allison said, quote, like so many black women, I was unaware the risks faced by black women while pregnant. Allison almost lost her baby. Both Allison and Tori had preeclampsia, which is a high blood pressure disorder that can occur during pregnancy. Luckily, Allison had a C-section with her baby at 32 weeks. Tori did not know that she had it and died from it. Allison Felix said, and remember, she's the best runner, the best of all track women in the United States. She said, I quote, "We are dealing with a black maternal health crisis. Here you have 3 Olympic champions, and we are still at risk. This is America in 2023, and black women are dying while giving birth. It's absurd." When we have our unconscious bias and unconscious beliefs, they cause us not to listen to black women when they complain. This impacts medical treatment by doctors not telling black women their particular risks during pregnancy. It was found in a 2016 study that black patients are undertreated for pain when compared to white patients. So that means when a black person goes to the emergency room in a lot of pain, they're going to get less pain medicine than if I went to the emergency room and said I was in a lot of pain. I would be taken seriously. Black women would be sort of, get less. So the biases from slavery have now come into medical practice, and it's unconscious. It's not anything anyone is intending to do. We have to acknowledge it so we can change it. And you know the whole thing about awareness is the first step of change? That's why I'm here. Because I didn't know this either up till about a month ago. And that's why I wanted to share it with you, because I think it's so important for everybody to talk about it. To go home and talk about it with your friends, even if they don't want to hear it. Black women are telling their stories now and resisting the biased care that they've been subject to and building a society that values and cares about them as all others, valuing human beings equally. If we listen to the voices of Black women and their visions for the transformed society, we can collectively create a world that will be safer, healthier, and more flourishing for everyone than the kind of damaged society we have now. Now we will listen to Rolanda Steele and Dr. Roberta Hunte share their stories and thoughts. Rolanda Steele, I'm just going to say, is an amazing person. I'm lucky enough to be in the choir. This woman is a genius. So I just want to know, that's not what you wrote, I know. So, but she is. I go to choir in the fall on Monday nights, and I watch her hear all of us and respond to all of us. And when the choir is really doing right, she starts singing off us. And it's amazing. I just go, this is like jazz improvisation. I mean, it's like, good God, how do you do this? Okay. She is an Oregon Music Hall of Fame inductee, director of the Portland Interfaith Choir, Gospel Choir, a Black mother, daughter, and wife. We will also have some more music from Rolanda, and later the Interfaith Gospel Choir. And then Roberta will talk. So I'll just stay here.
Thank you, Karen.
Oh, you're welcome.
Let's show Karen love. Motherless child. An A. May I have an A, please? Yeah. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. That might not be A I started in. But sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Alone, long way from home. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost done. Oh, sometimes I feel like I'm almost done. Sometimes I feel like I'm almost done. A long, long way from home. So my portion of today's talk offering is my own story. Oh, I love that. Thank you. Stay underneath me there. I too was shocked by the statistics of the rate of death during childbirth by women of color, and some of the other statistics. Racism is such a huge, insidious thing and has affected black people and brown people in so many different ways. I hadn't even gone to learn about the medical part of it, the care. So when I was born, my mother was told that I probably wouldn't live more than about 5 days. And that's because in the late 60s, early 70s in Oklahoma, the medical staff didn't know much about albinism, which is a congenital condition. Most of you know what albinism is, right? Lack of pigmentation, and it can be in the hair, skin, and eyes. I just got them all. I just got everything. God said, here you go. And so they told my mom, she probably won't live until she's about 5 days old. So be ready for that. So you tell a mother that without really knowing what the condition is. So that's one of the things, I think, a major thing. What's the right word for it? Just a major, come on, choir, you know how I do. Just discouragement. Anyway, we'll move on beyond that. Also, when I was a young child, I had to have a surgery on a lymph node, and my mom had pressed my hair. Y'all know about getting your hair pressed straight? Because my hair is very curly. So my mom had pressed my hair. And she said that when she came in to visit me after the surgery or while I was in the recovery room, she noticed that half of my hair was wet. So she then thought that one of the nurses wanted to see what color I was, wanted to see what my hair would do when it was wet. Just little things like that. Insidious, just I want to find the right word for it. Just insidious, crappy things. How about that? Can I say that? Done because my mom, I'm sure because my mom was black and I looked a little different. But as I got older, my experience with the medical field actually got better. I was diagnosed about 10 years ago with stage 3 breast cancer. And so the advocacy of breast cancer breast cancer treatment is just really incredible in this country. And so my life was saved from that. And now 10 years later, it's moved to a metastatic condition, which is completely under control now because of medicine and because of the way I've been treated. So it's just this, it's getting better. I will say that. It is getting better. I don't know if that's because of my light tone of skin. See, we can get into a whole bunch of other stuff, but we're talking about medicine right now. But in that regard, I've been treated well, and I don't really have any complaints. What I will say about my mother and my grandmother and a lot of the African American people that I know, you have to advocate for yourself, and we're not used to doing that. We are fearful of medicine and certain hospitals. We have a hospital, I won't name it because we're global. But there's a hospital in Oklahoma that all the black people know not to go to because you may not come out of it. And this is just what we know and what we've seen in our community. A lot of us are fearful of that, fearful of doctors talking down to us, fearful of advocating for ourselves because we're not used to that. And also just afraid of the price. My Lord, I think that's all of us. And so conditions just keep getting worse, but we think, oh, if I just keep my head down and I keep working, then it'll work itself out if I pray enough, which indeed can take care of that. But going to Western medicine is still a very fearful thing. Even in my family, my dad will not go. A lot of black men, Tuskegee, will not go. And so in a lot of ways, it's getting better. I am a testament of that. My daughters who were born healthy are a testament of that. My grandmother died of colon cancer. She didn't understand how, she didn't advocate for herself. So I stand on the shoulders of those who may not have known the way, but who encouraged us to find the way. And so I just give thanks to those men and women of color who died so that we could live, for people like Karen bringing this information to us. I mean, that's not something that I knew much about. So I thank you for that. And I will spend the rest of my life advocating and telling women of color, it doesn't matter what color you are, that if there's something going on in your body, and we know our bodies. If there's something going on, go get it looked at, because you don't want to be too late on it. And there's things that Western medicine can do, naturopathic medicine can do, all of that. So advocate for yourself. I had to this last time. I had pain in my body and the doctors were like, oh, well, this and that. And I kept going back. I said, no, I've got pain here. This back trouble isn't leaving. And so once I advocated and kept pushing, then I got the help that I needed. And I got complete help that I needed. So that's my story. That's my story about medicine. And I will advocate for my folks. We have to go and we have to make noise. And we have to know that we are enough. Yes, and that we belong here too, and that we are not substandard folks, substandard beings. Amen? That's all I'm saying. I'm used to singing it, but thank you for listening. So, Miss Dr. Roberta Hunte, I'm going to introduce now. She is my friend. She is a choir member of the Portland Interfaith Gospel Choir. Karen got her to join. So happy about that. Wonderful alto. She is at Portland State. She's a professor in the School of Social Work and Research on Sexual Health and Reproductive Justice. There it is. Let me say it again. So she is at Portland State, and she is a professor at the School of Social Work and Research on Sexual Reproductive Justice. Roberta Hunte.
Thank you, everyone. It's lovely to be with you on Juneteenth and Father's Day. That's a really big deal. And my name is Roberta Suzette. I am the daughter of Roberta Adams Wilson, who had 11 children in Virginia, and the great niece of my great aunt, Susan Adams, and I am the mother of 2 living boys who I birthed, and one daughter who was born stillborn. And in many ways, it is through my reproductive health journey that radicalized me around maternal health. And I think I look at Serena and I look at Tori, and I think to myself, one one, Tori did not need to die. 60% of maternal deaths are preventable. And 60%, right? So I really want that to sit with people because it is a failure of our healthcare system that childbirth is so risky. It's also a failure of our society when our children don't make it to age 1, right? Because our children should make it to age 1. And very much the reasons that they are not making it are about socioeconomic issues, inadequate health care, families not being supported to thrive and survive. So I think about Juneteenth, which is a day of liberation, one that I didn't grow up with. I didn't grow up with the tradition of Juneteenth, and so it's something that I'm learning. And I also celebrate that I am able to learn, as we are at a time of unprecedented restriction of knowledge, which is about fascism, and it must be understood within that, because it is dangerous to all of us. And I teach a class, Race and Social Justice. I teach a lot of things, but I teach Race and Social Justice, and I get to work with freshmen, and they're always telling me, how come I didn't know this? And I'm not, actually, I would say that my health equity work is in line with critical race theory, which is about studying racial inequities, which is what the folks in Florida and Texas are fighting. But what they're really fighting is telling the histories of our country. So they're going after kindergartners and elementary school and high school because they're teaching more of the real histories of our nation. And Juneteenth is one of those histories. And the fact even that we're having this talk is also something that people want to fight and repress. And I acknowledge that it's Father's Day. And so a shout out to all who father, whether it is your children, whether it is children and young people who you've said, I will be here for you. Whether it's a dream in your heart, may it be so. And I think about, with Father's Day, may we all be feminists. Feminism is the movement to end sexism, sexist exploitation, and oppression more broadly. It is a struggle that is for all of us. And I think about the ways that those who father have protected me and made space for me, and how eternally grateful I am for that. So, as we're thinking about Black maternal health, I think about sexual and reproductive justice. Sexual and reproductive justice is the movement to support all in their right to have a child, to not have a child, to parent the children we have in a safe and sustainable environment, free of community and state violence, free of environmental degradation, and bodily autonomy, control over our bodies. And so as we are in this time of fights against abortion, fights against talking about sex and sexuality, fights against gender-affirming care and the right of trans existence. As we are in this time, it's important to note that all of these struggles are intertwined. And all of these struggles are about the control over bodies and control over communities. What I love about sexual and reproductive justice, apart from the fact that it's the best party going, is that it is about life and about preserving people's ability to make the choices that are right for them, and as a community, holding them and supporting them throughout their life. And so I think about on Father's Day and on Juneteenth, how special they are, how critical they are. And I think about as we move forward as a nation, that with every step, like what Reverend Lisa said, we are either choosing love, like we are moving towards love, or it's a call for love. And so that's what I leave you with today. Thank you.
I just want to give some acknowledgments. I'd like to thank Unity Church and Reverend Lisa. We've been at this for like 5 years or something, maybe 6. I don't know. I started a long time ago with me and LaRonda. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I just talked about my civil rights history, and she sang, and you know, you have been so open to having us here. And I know that it's risky. This is not...
We'll see if I still have a job after this.
Yeah, it's
yes.
kind of like
My
that,
goodness.
you know? And so I just want to say, having us present this important information is a gift, and thank you. I also want to thank LaRonda and Roberta for their terrific presentations. I mean, and their terrific words and music. And their very spirit, their spirit. I know in the back row, you can feel their spirit. And, you know, what more can we ask? Thank you, Marcy Beck, who is up here. She's also my partner, for her crucial help in putting together these presentations. And she also wrote that song, Yes, I Am. Is that the, yep.
I say yes.
Yep. I want to thank the Interfaith Gospel Choir for getting up early on Sunday, and LaRonda, too, because she had a gig last night, and singing their hearts out. Thank you, guys. Yep.
Thank you, Sharon.
And I want to thank all of you. I want to thank you for listening to some hard stuff, some good stuff, some funny stuff, and cheering us on. And I love all of you, and may we prevail in a love and a loving country. Amen. Amen.
Are we doing the offering now? Okay. We are doing our offering. And I just want to say, you know, in the Bible, you look at the steps of creation, and the first step of creation is let there be light. Light means awareness. The biggest thing we can do is continue to be aware of our history, of who we are within that history, and how we gather together as humanity to take the next step, to open our hearts, to see something larger. And I believe that's what all of this is. But sometimes just listening can be, let there be light. The light comes with the courage to listen to tough things. And so I thank all of you for being a part of that. As we receive our offerings, I believe it's an investment in a humanity that says, yes, Unity believes that the divine essence of the universe is within every being, everywhere. And that means learning our history. That means doing the hard stuff. It means healing from the things that we feel may have taken us down. And I know this service is a little longer than it has been before, and I am just celebrating and bathing in the humanity that is present and offering. And so our offering blessing for those who would like to give their tithes and love offerings. I know there is a card in front of you, a blue card that'll show different ways you can give, whether it's on your phone, by check, by on our website. But I just invite you to be a part of that. And our offering is divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. We just hold that divine love as me. That's every one of us, everywhere. Divine love works through us. And so it is.
I need you, you need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me, agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will that every need be supplied. You are important to me. I need you to survive. You are important to me. I need you to survive. Sing, sing, yes, yes. I need you. You need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with me. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will that every need be supplied. You are important. I need you. I need you to survive. Oh, you are important. I need you. I need you to survive. Say it again. Oh, I need you. I need you. You need me. We're all a part of God's body. Stand with me. Agree with. We're all a part of God's body. It is His will. That every need be supplied. You are important. You are important to me. I need you to survive. Oh, you are important. You are important to me. Yeah. I need you to survive. I pray for you, you pray for me. I love you, I need you to survive. I won't harm you with words from my mouth. I love you, I need you to survive. I pray for you, you pray for me. I love you, yes, yes. I need you to I'll never, I won't harm you, no, with words from my mouth. I love you, I need you to survive. I pray for you, you pray for me. I love you, I need you to I'll never, I won't
Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I know they are going to sing one more number for us, and we are so blessed. Thank you. How beautiful for all of you. We all need each other. We're going to sing our youth hymn, but first, I want to just invite all of the dads, all the stepdads, all the grandpas, all the great-grandpas to stand for a moment. We want to honor you. For those of you who are willing, all of those of you who have fathered someone. And we yes, we honor you. We see you. And if you'll stay standing, our youth have something to share with you. So you gotta find it. Our teens are coming in, and they have something to share with you. And you, yes, and we're gonna have our youth come on in.
Woo! All right. This song is called Better, y'all, so you can join in with us when we get to the chorus. All right. Hey, hey, hey. Uh-huh. People come, yeah. People go. Come on, clap, y'all. Your life has been a little out of control. It gets dark in the night, but you'll be all right. It will get better, better. It will get, it's gotta get better. It will get better. God is in control. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Woo. All right. Find the grace within your heart. Hold it close. Don't ever depart. It gets cold in the night, but you'll be all right. It will get gotta be. It will get better. Oh yeah. It will get. God is in control. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. See, whatever state I find myself in, I've learned how to be secure, knowing that God will supply all my needs and He'll work things out for my good. Sing better, y'all. Say better. Oh yeah, better. It will get better. It's gotta be. Come on, take it up. It will get better. It must be. It's gotta be. All over the world, y'all. Better, better. Yes, it will. It will get. Oh yes. Let's take it up, y'all. It will get. Come on, y'all. If you believe in your heart that it will get better, it will get better. Yes, it will. I know that it will. Oh yeah. It will get better. Oh yeah, better. It will get. Oh yeah. It will get. 'Cause God is in control. Yeah. Woo. Great job.
All right, and we are so grateful to have all of our youth with us. Thank you, thank you, thank you to all of the fathers. We're going to sing, Let There Be Peace on Earth. We will do our unity prayer and we will close this. But remember, peace on earth remembers every one of us is connected to every other one. We are whole, we are infinite, we are complete, and we are a part of the movement of spirit that lifts consciousness on this planet. So let's begin with that. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
God has created
Oh, yes. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. We invite all of you downstairs for Connection Hour after this service. Our chaplains are here to pray with you. We have a women's group meeting, and we will have a leaders meeting later after in about a half an hour. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. We're going to sing our youth out in just a moment, but we're going to end with the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And they are stamping that into existence. Thank you, God. We're going to sing our youth out. Thank you, God. And thank you to the Portland Interfaith Gospel Choir and all who participated.
Yeah, I guess so. Is that what you guys want to hear better? A little bit more better? All right. The last key. We'll just keep it there. 2, 3, and back.